Biggest Reclaiming Inuit identity can be personal, political, and spiritual. What part of that journey has felt the most meaningful for you?
For me, it was identity because I've struggled with my identity growing up with not wanting to be Inuk or to stand out. So learning about the markings, reclaiming them, revitalizing the practice helped me accept my identity.
Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is Arsaniq. I'm an artist, tattoo artist, and I do all sorts of other things. I've been a full-time tattoo artist for maybe 2 or 3 years, and I've been tattooing for almost 6 years.
And you're also my daughter. Welcome to Northern.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
When you tattoo someone, what do you think you're really offering them beyond the design?
I try to make the space safe, welcoming, warming, and I try to be as gentle as I can as possible with them because a lot of the time they come to the session going through something and feeling a lot of hard emotions, and that space is a way to release and to be relieved of what they're feeling.
Amazing. You're, of course, I know you very well because you're my daughter, but when you're tattooing, because I'm one of your biggest clients. You have marked me a lot, and there's this strength that you have when you're tattooing. It's quite special to see because, like, I raised you, I know you, you're a very quiet, calm person and very humble. But then when you're about to tattoo, you become this your power really shines through. Your focus is so sharp, and it's like the first time I saw you doing that, I was like, who is this person? It was very special to witness that, to really see you own your skill. And it makes me very, very proud as your mom to see that. And you do that over and over with your many, many clients. Can you tell us where your tattooing has brought you?
My tattooing has brought me far, well, around Canada. I've been going back and forth to the Northwest Territories to share about my journey, my tattoo journey, and my healing that comes with it. And I've been to all of the Inuvialuit communities in the Northwest Territories to share at youth gatherings, Inuit youth gatherings and Indigenous youth gatherings. And I've spoken in many different Inuit or Indigenous events to talk about my experience. And I've tattooed all over the country. Yukon, Nunavut, Nunavik, and mostly the Northwest Territories.
And you also have clients from Labrador and, all across Canada, Inuit from all across Canada, and not just Inuit, Indigenous people as well. Because are you choosing to only tattoo Indigenous and Inuit people?
For the most part of the years that I've started, it was mostly Inuit and a few non-Inuit where I did line work, like artwork. But now I'm trying to expand my art to do ornamental so I can expand my, I guess, clients.
Mm-hmm.
So I tattoo anybody, but the Inuit markings are specific for Inuit only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if someone comes to me from a different nation, like First Nation, if they don't have someone to tattoo them from their nation, I offer that as well with their nation's markings.
I wonder what the toll it takes on you to do traditional markings, and to be one of the few people. Is it fulfilling or exhausting or both?
I think it's all of the above. I give and take. I offer my body because it takes a lot for me to tattoo now because it's really tiring. And it could be exhausting if I don't take breaks. But I also receive a lot. It's very fulfilling and it's very healing for me and the client.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us your first tattooing experience?
My first tattooing experience was in November 2019, a few days after I turned 20. My first client was actually you, and Evie was there. Evie filmed the whole thing, and
Evie is Evie Mark, my best friend.
Yeah, and Huvak was the tattoo artist there. And we were at your place. I was just watching Huvak. I was sitting next to her while she was tattooing your thighs, your childbearing markings. And she just asked suddenly if I wanted to try. So of course I said yes without thinking, and I wasn't expecting that at all. And so the first tattoo was a line, one small line on your thigh. And later that night, Huvak, this was unexpected for me. She let me tattoo a line on her wrist. Later that night, it was really late. I remember being so tired, but also really excited.
Yeah, because Huvak Johnston lets her students, her tattoo students, tattoo lines on her wrist. So she has lines from different young apprentices.
Up-and-coming, yeah.
So that's
beautiful.
pretty special. And then, like, this was really late at night. Like, we were pretty exhausted.
It was like 11:30 maybe.
Yeah. And my thighs took, I think,
4 hours.
4 hours of excruciating pain. And just a beautiful experience. Like when I'm getting tattooed traditionally, it always makes me think of my ancestors and like the very intimate moments that are shared, like in the silence, just the poking sounds of the needle. And I just imagine that moment that was held amongst like these two women at the time. And there's a sense of pride. When you're tattooing me, I always focus on the sensation, and I try not to give up. So it's this sense of, I cannot give up. This is painful. I started this and I must finish it. There's times where like your body is just screaming, stop this, what are you doing?
Especially on your lip.
Oh yeah, because you have one on your lip. Yeah. So yeah, there's some parts of the body that are more sensitive than others. And I wish people would stop asking if tattooing hurts. Yes, it hurts. Like I don't know anyone who doesn't hurt. There's less sensitive parts in the body.
There you are, look.
But yeah. Yeah, like the focus, the mental focus, that's what I try and hold on to. This is temporary. This is beautiful. This pain is not going to be forever. So, and that goes the same with whatever emotion that we're fighting. This is temporary. This is painful, but it's not going to last forever. Yeah, so at the end of the night, what does Hovak do?
So after she finished your tattoo, she cleaned up, and then she asked me for a large Tupperware to put the rest of her supplies in. So I looked for one. And before that, she showed me how to set up a tray station with the needle, how to make the needle in a safe, clean way. And then I was wondering why we're making the needle. It's just going to go to waste. And she was showing me how to wrap it. She just told me, you're going to tattoo me. And I was so excited, but also so shocked, and couldn't believe what was happening. And I went with it. So when we were finished, it was one line on her wrist. She cleaned up, and we cleaned up, and she asked me for Tupperware. And she put the rest of her supplies in. I gave it back to her, and she said, "This is your starter kit." So from then on, I started practicing on my best friends, Teresa and Sammy. Teresa Ituk, Sammy Goodson, and they were my first clients.
And up till now, how many clients do you think you've had?
I've stopped counting, but I'm thinking probably over 200 Inuit.
So this has brought you all over the country, but most recently, we went to Vancouver because Arsaniq received a Youth Inspire Award, which is an award given to exceptional Indigenous and Inuit around Canada. What was that like, receiving that award?
It was unreal, and it just felt very of course, rewarding, because when I started this, I didn't expect for my work to grow, and I didn't expect for it to get so known. And I didn't start it so I could receive awards or anything like that, or for any validation. So it was very I felt so much pride, but also very humbled to receive this award that so many incredible Indigenous people received. And hearing the reasons for the other recipients, I felt a bit small. But I just kept telling myself, I deserve this just as much as the other recipients do. And that I put my heart and soul into this work, into revitalizing despite what people would say.
Yes, of course. You deserve it 150%. Like it's incredible how as your mom, I certainly didn't think that you were going to be this pioneer in Nunavik trailblazing traditional Inuit tattooing, but you are. It's amazing because I like you see me, I wear like lots of bright colors and like I'm a singer, I'm a performer, I'm out there. But my banik is the opposite. She's very reserved and she's not loud like me. She's her own person. And then there's this amazing quiet confidence that you carry. And to be a trailblazer in Nunavik, to bring this back and like such a visible tradition too, that's not always appreciated by those who don't understand it. Yeah, and the courage that you have to keep doing it anyways. It's very, it makes me so proud. So can we talk about what are kakinit, what are tunit?
After all these years, I still mix up what kakini and tunnit are because one of them is on the face and the other one is on the body.
Yeah, tunit are on the face.
So this is an ancient tradition and it trails back thousands of years. I actually was in Ottawa recently with you and my little sister. I was babysitting her while my mom was doing a pretty big project there. And we went to the Canadian Museum of History. And there was a mask, a tiny little mask there. And I've actually talked about this mask in my presentations for years. And it was the first time I saw it in person. And I wanted to stay a bit longer and to look at it, but my little sister has
other plans.
But it was probably an inch big, and it was a carved piece which had Inuit tattoos on it, facial Inuit markings, and it said it dates back over 3,500 years ago. So that was the first sort of proof that markings existed that long ago. And it was found on Devon Island near Baffin Island. And so these markings have been part of us for millennial. And all of these markings were seen on many different regions around the world, like Siberia, Nunavut, Greenland, Alaska, Inuvialuit region. So we all shared the markings. And they all had similar meanings, and some have slightly different meanings, but we shared one thing, was these traditional tattoos.
Mm-hmm. And different places in the body meant different things. Can you talk about the ones that you know?
So the ones that I know, on the forehead is the womanhood tattoo. It was received after you learn all of the women skills because Inuit were matriarchal. The husbands would go out hunting and the women would take care of the village. So after you learn all of the skills that is to be a woman, like rendering seal fat for the khorlip or taking care of your family, sewing, all of these things, you would get a V on your forehead. And Inuit girls would get one line on the chin to, it was sort of a coming of age ritual because it was also believed that hunters thought it was bad luck for a woman to receive her period. So it was like a cleansing ritual. And it was to just say like that they're ready for marriage. And more lines on the chin meant more children and more partners. And
Partners.
yeah. So Inuit were living based off survival, so they had to hold on.
To have multiple partners. Where's mine?
Procreate. I need me some chin lines.
Yeah, Arsaniq needs another stepdad. Sorry, go on.
A sugar one, hopefully.
Yeah, people had different, I guess we had different ways of having relationships and partnering and living together.
The more skilled you were, the more partners you had because you can provide for them.
Yeah.
more.
So the markings on your face really showed your skill set and your ability to provide in a camp, I guess, which always led to survival. The meaning of survival, the ability to survive. And then that's on the face. And then what about the rest on the body?
So women would get the chest marking, which is the shape of the amauti, the baby carrier. You would receive that marking after you become a mother. And the ones on the thighs, the women would get them before childbirth to prepare for childbirth. And so the baby would come out and the first thing it would see was beauty.
Art.
Yeah. And the ones on the arms were to represent your achievements because traditionally the markings on the arms were earned. So with every project you finish, like a sewing project, you'd add a mark. And with every achievement, you would add a mark. So what I did was not traditional to like hundreds of years ago because I got my forearms done in one sitting. But traditionally, you would add them slowly with the more projects you finished.
Mm-hmm.
The more
skills.
achievements.
Yeah. Right. Did men get tattooed?
Men had tattoos, but I think it was more visible on women. And that's why today, like, people are saying men never had tattoos, but that's not true. Men had them for different reasons as well, to ward off bad spirits, to ward off good luck, and to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because I know that the tattoos on the temple on men is to help them see far when they're hunting. That's the belief, one of the beliefs that Inuit had. Yes.
And the one on the bridge of the nose, what I learned is that men would get it after fighting a great spirit or if they were a shaman. That was the reason.
Okay. Yeah.
And the ones that I know here would be
On the side of the lips.
On the bottom side of the lips.
the circles with the dot in the middle. What I learned was that if your father died death by drowning, it was to prevent you to die from the same fate.
Oh, okay. They had very specific meanings. And these meanings, we lost all these meanings through colonization because when the Christian missionaries came to our lands, they forbid tattooing amongst our people, and they told everybody, you're going to go to hell if you get tattooed. So it stopped 100 years ago about. So I personally have never seen the original markings. I've never seen an elder with markings, but my auntie, who's 88, I think she's 88 now. She used to talk about a very old lady with markings when she was young. So she just barely caught. So it's more than 100 years ago.
As my day job right now, I work at Avatar Cultural Institute, and we have in the archives there, we have audio and photos and all sorts of different recordings and sources from the past. And there was this one recording that I was listening to of a man in the 70s. I think it was recorded in the mid 70s. And he was talking about when he was growing up, there was a very, very old woman who lived with them. And that she had tattoos all over her face and body, almost completely covering her skin. And he said that he used to be afraid of her, but then she would always make him tutik her, and she would tell him stories. And he doesn't remember any of the stories because he was so afraid of the lady. I guess that's around the time when they started. I mean, I don't know how old the person was when the recording was made, but it would be a way to judge how long it's been since that messaging about tattooing infiltrated our cultural practices.
Yes. Because now, like my 4-year-old, this is all she knows of me and her sister.
She recently asked the question, why we have them.
Yeah. She's been asking. I mean, she asks sometimes, and she just like traces her finger on our tattoos. Ever since she was a baby, she would just trace the lines.
I've heard before that tattoos on women were made so that you would be able to recognize your relatives in the afterlife. And your conversations earlier about how you did your first tattoo on your mom, and it was her birthing tattoos, and how much you were able to withstand the pain and endure. It's not only a decolonization, but it's a really ancestral practice that you are experiencing, being close to each other, being mother and daughter, because that's how our societies lived, right? We were family groups, and it would have been a mother or a daughter or a sister doing a tattoo for you if you have made any achievements. So I think that's so beautiful that this practice is waking up with people so beautiful as you two.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh.
It really is, and it really brings us. It brings a part of ourselves back to us. Parts of us that were stolen through colonization and through trauma. like I know everybody doesn't agree with this, and that's okay. But for those of us who really appreciate and embrace that, it's very self-assuring. And yeah, it like we're in Nunavik, we are 14,000 people. There's billions of people on this earth, but for Nunavik specific, we're just 14,000 people. And we have these markings that are for us.
It's growing.
Yeah. And it's beautiful to see. Like, it was rare. Like, when we see elders, they have like dots on their wrists. And those were their attempt. Like bingwa but it was also like they were
clutching.
Like they heard about this practice. They didn't have a reference, but they knew that their ancestors were doing this. They took a needle and they put it in soot. And they poked their skin. That's what they heard. So they have like these random dots on their wrists, but that was their attempt at connecting to their culture.
That practice of kids doing that, I remember being a kid and we did it all. We would burn the bottom of a pop can and give ourselves little. I still have some.
I covered mine with this. I was you remember? No, it was of a bee. I tried. Like, my plan was to write my whole name.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my God.
With a needle and a pop can.
Oh my God. I'm glad I gave up that project.
I know, but just the fact that survived even until our generation.
Yeah.
That transmitting through children is a beautiful indication of how prevalent it would have been.
Yeah.
Last night, actually, I was visiting my grandma in the hospital. And she was showing me the little 8 dots on her wrist. She just started telling the story out of nowhere. And she did it when she was really young. One on her ring finger, 8 dots on the top of her wrist. And she said, I don't know the word in English, but it's husipik.
Copying.
Yeah, copying other kids, I guess. And she said, these are my gakinit.
Yeah.
And I recorded her. I told her to tell the story again, so I have it on video.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that she has them.
Yeah. Yeah. So families, our markings also signify families. Can you talk about that?
So before last names, Inuit had markings. So if you met someone, you'd be able to tell which family they're from just by looking at their markings.
And what region they're from also.
Yeah.
So we lost those parts.
Genealogical markers in a way.
Yeah.
And imagine how detailed those must have been, just thinking about like when we were speaking with Louis-Jacques Darrier and how specific everybody's name is in the family. You know, stepmother.
The kinship terminology.
Yeah.
So imagine if they were so thoughtful in naming. Imagine how thoughtful the markings.
Yeah. It's really too bad that we lost these practices. So I find that Inuit society is very split in our views on tattooing today. So there's those of us who are so into it, that really embrace it, that really love it, that really encourage it. And then there's another part of like this group that says, you're not Inuk enough, you don't deserve these markings.
Or you don't speak the language.
You don't sew. What are you doing with traditional tattoos? What do you think about that, Janice?
I think it's not only that, but the idea that it's still a religious taboo to be tattooed is prevalent as well. And I think it's important to separate that from the kind of attitudes that are trying to decide which Inuit get to and which Inuit shouldn't, and you're not this and like, oh, mixed Inuit girls getting tattoos. Like those kind of jokes are unnecessary and cruel,
Uneducated.
unhelpful. Yeah.
Ignorant, and it's about like the lateral violence that we were talking
Yeah.
about too, and being colonized and being afraid of it,
Yeah.
and also envying those who are brave enough or brave to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The decolonized beauty standard
Very much.
it includes tattoos going into the future. I mean, some people can't get tattoos. Like, for example, I have a autoimmune skin condition that I'm not able to get tattoos. I'm in the process of removing the ones I have, but I would never, like, I appreciate seeing them. I love to see them in the world, and I'm grateful that it's being brought back for us in the same way that I think throat singing almost disappeared. And then there was a big movement where only a few people remained who could still do it. And then they taught people, and then we taught people. And now it's a normal, very normalized part of our world.
But they were still getting hate, those who started the throat singing in the beginning, but now it's accepted.
Yeah.
Takes time, and it's always going to be hard to be the first few people doing something. Yeah. So you are brave, super brave, because of the lateral violence that is so. Even I was afraid to do things, like writing a book. I wrote a book, which I was afraid to do because of the way people react sometimes.
I didn't think you were gonna mention
Oh my
that.
God, no way.
She's so good at doing that.
No, but
Like surprising.
I ordered said book.
gosh. I don't
This
even
is
like.
Janice's first book.
Yeah.
Oh,
I often don't mention it. I don't often think about it. But
And yeah, I haven't opened this. I ordered it a while
my
ago.
gosh.
And this is the perfect time. And it's called Cautionary Tales.
Yeah, it's a book of short stories. And that cover, actually, I don't know if you recognize it, but it's two hills on lino cut.
Yeah.
And that's Aupaluk.
Amazing.
So when you land at the airport, that's the view that you see.
Yes.
Oh.
We have a phone call. We're going to get back into this. Pause. Hey.
Hey,
Kinobi.
sali takhi.
So Wakwalo. Naniki.
I'm on no kohonga, upa kohonga on my way to Avatar.
Oh, yeah?
Ay.
Abatak ko ni sulang abi.
Interview to about my album or contract, I don't know. They mahalo ko.
Ay.
Ojalá nila titakan nila rigama pinasuya hatsuma.
Anukit,
Tusak tayo, Janice.
so
I'm just kidding. Never mind.
Hanoing ito nga, nipili ko Northern may podcast may tako gumalikagi, hangaw lalaki.
santimeo lalakroham.
Ay.
That's a mga, du sa vi vanni.
Janice,
Can you ask him
tusaye.
about the album?
Het na kaya so
Eso. Hanga album release laki. Tusabi. Hello.
Saling
Hey.
over.
Tusabi ate. We can't hear him. Technical difficulties.
yeah, tu sa teleki.
Tusatsel konga. When is your album release?
May second milayolo tuni take any beginning of May, ulang ko manuten kya. sometime in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Beatrice, gonna Saturday me barbecue lakho. Hi lakit.
Saturday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kung nasito ako, I'll let you know.
Hailakotit.
Yeah, ako man to,
And can we be your groupies?
groupies.
The barbecue's
Yeah.
for
I'm
you,
not sure.
Hope.
I'm almost 50. Lagno, sumo, inum bagay lang kami kasi niya
Enum Mario me vorod.
Yeah, that ingo tito halo is the how you might
We'll,
lango kala tahonga. Inum maringo sila yung mga sinariya o mga namataya o mga sipatsela pata ingit sa sila pata my age ko. Punta na sala sila yung mga lango.
Ningu Taulakugud.
Hatsineo keo harealit. Between 45 and 50.
Ila 23 hatsungo or 24 or 23 album deal as well na to binyo po sa kasi ni ko makita si mga naman for many years for like almost 30 years po tweet sa PS mahanga album deal na kay ni Dr. Suma sit sa kata kung kasalog sa mga lamis maybe 12 years ago but it didn't go as planned so
Yep.
sa kata si Uma.
Better late than never, eh?
Yeah, better late than never.
Yeah. Ang utitsero pala ito nang innovate.
Okay.
Ano, so kasi ano yung pala may gama COVID.
Uka kay nakata ang naigo tayo sumane ataw siyong ito may ang utikasovin yung mata. Hanok li sumalaki.
Ako dilo, pingaso ni haon na souvenir.
Pingaso ni hakayaki.
Kung na to ako pingito ako to.
Suto ako si.
Pingito ako to.
All right. Kailan ko ti Saturday?
Oh, Sally.
Yeah.
Nauko album new Victor kung nakaya to. Hano pirong nakaya ko.
Sigo.
Hano nani album ni Nilve kung nalakita.
Ila aso album rin na ni Yelik by Spotify and Apple Music or iTunes. Mapatagputay ko ano itatisungin ni is Yuki ni
Caroline Alexander.
Carol Alexander, Johnny Saunders now.
Yeah. Yeah. Te kunong ilaw lasip.
Yeah, album new album pingwa sa kuno tawo bi Rich Marila yolo yung Andrea mo in the beginning. So kaya ko na mapinsi ko mga daw nung kayang ina may excuse so sila lalaw yaka. Ayun naman lalaw sunisimulo limit. Hey, we have budget to come to Saluit. We're gonna record you layo choice ako na maangi to in as loyo mo magkasang
a true rock star. The studio came to you.
Yeah. Nipilit sa layo mo in container. Container ko sa lot logo in October, November, 3 days recorded and 3 days recorded in January. So it took 6 days to record yung ilon ng iniping wari yung na matay na lusima ako na mitsin no mamako inoksun. Sa PA sinipidyo at slow yung biyo lang yung ilaw yung kiseni una sila yung inawi ko ya paalo ilaw so 4-part harmony yung nipiulo ang at 2 minutes low.
Kinguliming ngayon ka ma.
The pictures.
Thank you.
Yeah, punta sa lamiro in 30 years.
Hopefully not 30 years, but I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Abata kunuti kisi ka mo.
Ulo siya na ikaw pakailak ko tit.
Ay, lang wa taribong nga Illuminati contract. Might sell myself na ilang wa Illuminati. Illuminati ko nung nga si mom.
Okay.
You
Stay safe out there.
All right, thank you.
See you,
Ipilo.
Sally.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, girls. Bye.
That was
Charlie's Angels. Shoot, why didn't I say that? Bye, girls. Lama.
that was our buddy Charlie Takik from Saluit. He's an amazing musician, the biggest Beatles fan in the world. And he's coming out with his first album on May 2nd. That's very soon. His songs will be on Spotify and Apple Music. And I asked if we can be his groupies.
He also has $1 million smile.
Yes,
Yeah.
very contagious.
Yeah.
And he said that he did not want to record as a young man because too many men would have been too jealous. So he strategically recorded when he's 50 years old. So
He waited to start losing his hair.
yeah.
To make it easier on everybody.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Okay, back to Janice's book here.
Okay, but like Sally, I've been actually writing for a very, very long time, pretty much as long as I can remember, just writing short stories. And most of those stories were written like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And yeah, it just took me a while to get it together. And then Takalik Partridge, who is my mentor since the very beginning, offered me this opportunity to write this book or to put together a book through a foundation called Musikgeddis. And yeah, they choose a few Indigenous writers every year to publish. And the book is actually hand bound. So when you order it,
Wow.
they make it. And then
Amazing.
they'll send it to you. Yeah.
That's even more special.
Yeah. So
Wow.
they're made in Guelph and yeah, they're available online. It's not for kids. I know that there's this impulse for Inuit writers to always write kids' books, but don't read this one to your kids. So.
Okay. Can I just read the first paragraph?
Sure.
Or do you
I don't
suggest
even
a
know what the
paragraph?
first paragraph is. Go for it.
Hotel Kulusuk.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Evany found herself in a small souvenir shop that was bursting with ivory, sealskin, and soapstone treasures. The shopkeeper who had initially greeted her left her to her own devices as she browsed, but after some time asked if she needed help. "Oh, no, thank you. I'm just looking for now," Evany said. But something in the showcase caught her eye. It was a small ivory pendant in the shape of a polar bear head. It was pulled onto a round black waxen cord. "How much for that?" she asked. 80 kroner, said the shopkeeper. "Would you like to see it?"
Oh, you should do audiobook. I know.
Seriously.
I can't wait
read my
to...
book.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Audiobook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Sanak.
Yeah.
I love
Hit me up.
audiobooks. I'm a
Me too.
fan.
Me
the
too. I'm a
only
big fan.
way I
Podcasts
feel
and
like-
audiobooks.
I mean, I can read books, but I just get too into it.
Well, my only time is when I'm lying in bed. I feel so
Yeah.
listening to it. Especially Tom Hanks when he's reading the audio.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Love it.
I'll have to look him up. I have my favorite narrators too, but
But you sound like you would be really good at that.
Well, I do voiceovers.
you
so.
do narration and
Narrations
stuff too.
and
Even on
voiceovers.
the Canadian North flights, I think that's
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
the safety briefing. Yeah, I do.
R.I.P. Canadian North.
Yeah. Let's
Pretty
not get
sad.
into
No,
that. Anyways, this is the end of part 1. We are going to get into more family-related stuff in part 2 with my daughter, Arsaniq, who's here with us on Northern. And this has been a great conversation. And to everyone at home, thank you for joining us and thank you for your support. If you wish to support us further, be sure to head over to our Patreon on patreon.com/northerned and join us over on Discord to keep this conversation going. We are back for part 2 with my daughter, Arsaniq, traditional tattoo artist extraordinaire. Let's start with Ask Me Anything segment to me and Tanya. Hit it, Chris.
Waka, Tanya, and Beatrice. I know you two are two deadly sober aunties, so can you please let us know how sobriety has changed your life? Kuyana.
Thank you,
What
Ralph.
a good question.
I'll let you start.
Oh boy, I was so excited we were not going to cry this episode. I'm going to try my best. How has sobriety changed my life, Ima?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Ralph. Well, I know that we talk about it often, you know, and so what stands out to me the most, if somebody were to ask me what is sobriety to you, what I have gained the most from becoming sober is my freedom. The freedom of not having regret the next morning, the freedom of making clear choices, the freedom of trusting myself that I can make plans, that I can follow through, that I can be reliable now, that that I don't have to regret something I said or promised or did. The freedom of not failing so easily. So the freedom to dream, the freedom to hope, the freedom to believe in myself that I can reach my goals. Because when I was drinking, life was always in that moment, you know. I couldn't plan anything ahead. I couldn't trust myself. You couldn't rely on me. I disappointed myself. I disappointed other people. I did things I would never do when I was sober. I lied. So having freedom from that is really what changed my life and helped me be the person I always wanted to be. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
For me, what changed in my life are so many things, very similar to yours. Same. It really made me discover my strengths. It made me see who I really am. And my career wouldn't be where it is today if it weren't for my sobriety. And when I'm working on projects that I would never have imagined that I would do, that's when it always hits me too, is that like I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my sobriety and my healing. I really feel that sobriety and healing go hand in hand. For it to be, for it to really work for me, I have had to go through a lot of healing, and I continue to do so. So I also wouldn't have any money because my money would just go into drinking and bars and
not work enough to make money.
and be too hungover to work and just like carelessly spend, because when we're hungover, when we're tired all the time, we don't make optimum choices. We don't really think about anything really except the next time we're gonna party. So that too has changed. So many things changed for the better, and especially my relationship with my children. And that's what we're going to get into in this part 2 with my daughter Arsaniq here. Just to let you know that in this episode, we're going to gently talk about some of the very unpleasant things. I mean, we won't get into detail, but we will talk about the realities that was in our household. And the reason why I want to talk about this, and the reason why Arsaniq has also agreed to be part of this conversation, is that we can help people who are in the same situation. And it's to give hope, because we live it. We go through it. We've gone through it. And if we can come out in a much better place, like we have, and we continue to be in, then everybody too can experience that in their families. I'm always very open when I talk about my past, my path to sobriety, and I'm not ashamed to talk about the very the things that I lived when I was an alcoholic and an angry, like very angry person. And I do mention my children, that they were collateral damage. I was violent. I talk about this. I was violent, and that the root of that violence was because I was so angry because of the trauma that I had from my childhood. And those traumas are sexual abuse, rejection issues from birth, and suffering the deaths of my 3 siblings from when I was 6 years old and then 14 years old. So those were the main traumas that I experienced that led me to be a very angry person. And then I had children at a very young age. I had my beautiful daughter here when I had just turned 17. And that is insane when I look back. when I see 17-year-olds, I can't help but to tell myself that, like, 17-year-olds are not equipped to bring human beings, to raise human beings, because we're like, I was still growing. Mm-hmm. And I definitely did not have the tools for life yet. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about here. Yeah. So, Bunny, it wasn't all bad either. I mean, we had great times too. I mean, I also, there was also the side of me at that 17-year-old who was quite brilliant, if I do say so myself.
You were so nurturing. I mean, even a mummy. Yeah.
Like I made my kids parkas, winter clothes
In
every
any
season.
style we wanted.
Yeah, like any
Cakes and
cake.
everything.
Like the birthdays were always
Special
special
and
because like I love
And
cake
their
decorating.
bedrooms were always really
like
cute.
painted and like themed and
That's so sweet.
yeah, like it was like playing house where like sometimes I would just go fucking nuts and like break shit, unfortunately, and my poor children would witness all of that. And the reason why I want to talk about these things is because like I didn't understand at the time what was happening inside of me. And I did not have any help. There was no one to help me because no one knew how to help me in the clinic. Because in our villages in Nunavik, there are clinics with 2 nurses, a social worker, and a youth protection worker, and a doctor comes every 2 months, and a psychiatrist comes every 2 months. If it's still like that.
That's today. It
Yeah.
wasn't like that in the past.
In the
Even
past, it was
recently.
even more sparse where
Yeah.
doctors came and
Or
psychiatrists.
specialists and
No specialists
No.
came. There are three hospitals. One in Kuujjuaq, Inuktitut, and Puvilnituk. Well,
I don't think Inuktitut is a hospital.
Yeah, it's a clinic,
a
but
CLSC.
they have a full-time doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, but the hospital in Puvilnituk and Kuujjuaq are what would be considered hospitals. But I think Salud also has a doctor. But anyway, all to say that at the time, still today, there are no full-time therapists who are there to service anyone in crisis. And I had a lot of crisis. And I didn't understand what caused me to have these violent outbursts. I thought it was just
Who you were or whatever. Like
I didn't like. I just blamed other people. Like I just blamed my partner at the time. Like I just thought that's
he made you this way.
yeah, like that my reaction was because of what he was doing. Before I understood that anger within me would be triggered, and that's the reaction that came out. And through sobriety, when I got sober, my focus became, why am I angry? Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I have these behaviors that I can't control? And how do I fix them? Can I even fix them? I didn't know. I really didn't know, because the turning point for me when I got sober, that on July 31, 2011, was, is there a possibility for me to feel happiness? Because I've never felt it. I don't believe in it because I've never felt it. But can I feel it? Does it exist? And the only way that I'll know if it really exists is that if I have to do something I've never done, is I'm going to quit drinking and I'm not going to turn back. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to let anything else become my excuse and start drinking again. So that to now I'm really going to search for happiness. So that was my goal. And then where in 2025, I've grown so much as a person, and I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. I don't have all the answers, but I have learned so much about myself and how a person becomes the way they are because of the hurt that they've experienced in their life. Not only the hurt itself, but the lack of support that follows after that hurt. And that's what hurts more. It's not the traumatic event itself. It's not the sexual abuse, that incident that hurt more. It's the lack of support afterwards. The fact that I couldn't tell anyone, that I hid that my whole life until I told someone I trusted, and that was my therapist. And that, like, for any traumatic incident that I had, it's the fact that there was no support to guide, like to
cradle you in the
in the
moments.
suffering.
Yeah.
And to not feel alone.
Yes. So it's the isolation and the shame that comes with it. So with all of this, my focus also became my relationship with my children. Because I have 3 children now, but at the time I had 2. My 2 older ones, Arsaniq and my son Inuktitut. When I got sober, Arsaniq was 12 years old and Inuktitut was 10. And the first 2 years of Arsaniq's life, I didn't drink. I was
Cute teen mom.
a happy church-going teen mom. Like an enthusiastic mom with a beautiful little girl.
Newly married.
So I had this fairy tale belief that we're married, our life's perfect, we don't need anything else. I don't need anything else. I'm a school secretary. I make good money. My partner makes good money. That's it. That's all we need. And I was pregnant with my second child, with Inuktitut, at 19. That's when things started to crack. And I won't get into details, but that's where my anger was just like full blast. Just by that point, when it had been compounding your whole life too. Yeah, and that's when it's my partner at the time had been, to nicely put it, unfaithful. And for someone like me at the time, who had serious rejection issues that I hadn't dealt with, I handled it very hard. It was the end of the world to me. This broken teenager who, I placed all my value in this relationship because I didn't have any value. I didn't feel any value. I didn't feel any worth. So when my partner was unfaithful and I found out, if you can imagine this 9-month pregnant girl on the ground, on the snow, in a snowstorm, next to my car, wailing and wishing I wasn't pregnant because he cheated on me. It's really pathetic and sad. And it's because I looking back, it's a reaction of someone who doesn't love themselves. And now that I'm how old am I? 41.
MILF.
Anti-age.
I would never ever react that way. And I talk about this because a lot of people who don't have the kinds of hurts that a lot of us have, the rejection issues, the low self-esteem, those of us who've been sexually abused, our self-esteem is very low if we haven't gone through any healing. So we have to try to be more understanding and see, instead of just calling people crazy for the way they react, we have to try and be more empathetic.
We do that.
Yeah.
We do that now.
Now we do.
It's second nature for us. When we see somebody who is acting irrational, the first thing we say is, it's their untreated trauma.
Yeah.
We always say that.
Yeah.
People don't want to be violent.
No.
People don't want to react.
No,
in
they
ways
don't
that
want to.
harm
They don't
others.
I
want to
didn't
be
want to be
most
like
of the
that.
time. Yeah.
I didn't want to be like that. I had no control. I had no control, and like it goes beyond. Like it goes very far. Like the criminal system. These quote criminals don't want to be like that. They just need help
And love.
and love. And so that's what I wanted to understand about myself. Why I was like that. So all this with my little ones in tow is what I would go through every now and then. These explosive outbursts, and then I would be down for days and weeks in depression,
Sleeping.
sleeping all the time, closed in my room with the curtains closed, and my kids would try and come in my room and try and console me or
Connect in a way.
try to connect with me. And I was not there. I was not there. And it was very unfair. So I'll ask Arsaniq this. We've done a lot of work to rebuild our relationship. What has helped us get here?
I used to not talk to anybody growing up. Even in elementary school, I remember basically being mute. And I would only talk if the teacher spoke to me. So I rarely trusted anybody to make friends at all. And what helped me open up was when we started therapy together. When I was like a late teen, that really helped me open up. When before that I had lots of trouble even sharing anything with anybody.
Yeah, and you were 15. Yeah, you were 15 when we got help from the Children's Hospital. And this was 3 years into my sobriety. I'm a single mom, and
in the city.
A
Student. And
I wasn't a student anymore at that time. I was working for the school board.
I remember that.
Yeah, and learning to I separated from my my kid's father in 2012, the year after I got sober. So that too was an extremely difficult time of my life because I didn't know who I was. I was a child when I went into this relationship. I was a child.
And then you molded yourself to suit the relationship in a way, like
because my whole
having
life
a personality of your own.
Yeah, because I thought like I didn't have any self-esteem at all. So I was very codependent. And I didn't believe that I could do anything by myself. So when he left me, I fell apart. And I was trying to survive. My daughter was 12 and my kids had gone to my parents for that summer while I'm trying to
put yourself back together.
Yeah, when I was just scattered. And then
meanwhile, for them too, they didn't know life without in this new way. They didn't know life without their father. Or
and they're like they're trying to discover this mom who's been sober for a year, and that like was the like when he left me, it was so hard. Hey, I would message you all the time because Tanya was and it continues to be my pillar in sobriety. And those times I was just constantly crying.
I remember feeling like, oh, it's going to go either way. Like, it was such a touchy time, like, and you had some sobriety, and I was like, come on, keep going.
It was so hard. And
the kids were small. I mean,
and then, like Arsaniq and Anauta like went to my parents for that summer, and my son came back, but my daughter refused to come back.
I remember that day when I was in the guest room just sitting. I don't remember what I was doing. And my grandma came upstairs to tell me that you are getting a divorce and that you won't be together anymore. And she let me choose. She asked me, do you want to live with your mom or your dad? And I said, none of them. I'm staying here because I was so angry. I didn't know at the time, but it just felt like a switch that's when like the anger issues started within me silently, but not at the same time. When I started rebelling at school and started smoking weed. And I think I was confused and just really angry and didn't know what to do. And I didn't want anything to do with either of them.
Because no matter how toxic or painful or hurt you see, there's love too. There's a lot of love, like, and the kids love their dad. They love their mom.
Yeah, no matter.
And then now what, So
like the household was fractured. So
the only
thing you
ever known.
the only thing you know.
And then
like,
it's
to me too. Like that's, and I thought I'm not gonna survive this. Like, and not only was he my husband since I was 17, he was also my music partner. So he was like, I thought my whole identity was him.
And the father of your children who helped you in your day-to-day life.
Yeah. So it was a lot for a young girl, for a young lady.
And that's like when we were speaking about grieving, that's grieving.
Yeah, I had to grieve that. Grieving, like alongside the other griefs that I was living, that was one. And it was a scary time, and my panik here didn't come for 2 years, and that was very painful for me, but I was also very grateful at the same time that she was with my parents, and I was with my son, and it was just me and my son. It was hard for both of us, but I think it would have been even harder if I was trying to raise 2 kids at the same time while going through so much struggle without the tools that I needed to go through.
Pass through the. Yeah.
I mean, I did. Like when I look back, it's like, oh my God, that was like I lost so much weight. I trying to survive it all.
And you were working and everything on top of it. I remember those days.
Yeah, I didn't sing for a while. And that's
But when you came back, you really came back.
I did, and my band has been there since 2012. Hey, Chris, Mike, Jordy,
My uncles.
yeah, through thick and thin. My ride or dies. Oh my God, they've seen me through like the worst situations.
They came to my 11th birthday. One of them. 10th birthday.
Yeah. Pass me a Kleenex. I want to ask Arsaniq, when did you know that you can start trusting me?
I think it was I don't remember much of what we talked about during therapy, but I think I started trusting you after those sessions, after a few years. And then I was finally ready to tell you things that happened to me or tell you anything, because I just remember being in my room and not talking to you, and I didn't know why. I guess I didn't trust you, but
Yeah.
I think when I was 17, I started to really trust you.
So that was 5 years into my sobriety that you started to trust me and know that you can talk to me. And I really, really, really appreciate the Children's Hospital Adolescent Clinic social worker that helped us because we went into intensive therapy. So intensive therapy is when you go to a session every week for an X amount of weeks. I think it took us like 4 or 5 months that we went every week. And the first session, like my Arsaniq was completely closed up. She couldn't even look at me. She was so angry at me. And it was very difficult. And every session was like that for a long time. And a great therapist will really guide you to communicate your feelings. And that's where, for the first time, where Arsaniq told me she hated me. And I needed to hear that. And I needed to tell her, I hear you. You have a right to hate me for everything that I put you through. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to take accountability like that.
Yeah,
it's
really
in the face
hard.
of your child.
Yeah, because like our children need to be able to tell us these things. That's when things were starting to get better. That like, because yeah, she needed to tell me this, and she needed to know that I believe her, that what she's saying means something, that it's important, that she's important.
And you understand why she feels like that.
Yeah. And I I didn't say, well, you can't hate me. You're my mother. I mean, you're my daughter. I'm your mother. Well, it's like I didn't justify anything. I didn't say, well, why do you hate me? I'm your mother. Well, it's because I was angry. Like I didn't justify anything. I just said, you're right. You're rightfully angry at me. And that's what kids need to hear. Even us adults, we need to hear that if we're angry at someone for whatever reason.
And we need to be able to take accountability. I find that in our
very much.
communities that taking accountability is not the norm. That, like you were saying, you reacted this way because somebody did this to you.
Yeah,
that's such a normal belief.
That was before I understood anything.
Blame shifting.
Yeah, like people, like for example, we know so many people. Like this is more extreme. This is an extreme case, and it happens a lot. Someone will get arrested, and then the family, the parents will say, well, it's because you pissed him off.
Or you broke up with him.
Called the police.
Yeah, you broke up with him. Yeah.
Which puts zero accountability on the person who committed this crime.
It's interesting because in those instances, the fact that harm was done is not denied. But the fact that the person has to face accountability is the more outrageous aspect of that. Is a cultural belief that I think we really grew up with as Inuit.
And the fact that
that hinders healing. That
forgiveness and justice.
And that really puts such a wall on progress. Like, how can I start to forgive you if you can't see what you've done to me?
Yeah, and exactly. And like and this has to start early on when we're raising our children, when they're born. We have to make them independent, to have their own ideas. Like there's these cultural parenting practices that I disagree with. When, like right now, I have a 4-year-old. She's almost 4 years old. And the way I parent her is so different from when I parented these kids, in a good way, because I'm more wise now. I've picked up tools along the way.
Also, I recognize a lot of your parenting as well from when you were parent.
The same thing.
Your style, and your love. I recognize that with Inumana.
So
the good part.
Yes. Yeah. So when like a child is asked, do you want to eat eggs or cereal? Simple, right? But in Inuit, a lot of Inuit say, you don't ask a child what they're supposed to eat, what they want to eat. Just give them what they're
going to have.
Yeah.
I think that really comes from like the past, our ancestors, that's all they had to eat, and you had no choice. And the amount of food you had no choice in that either, because there probably wasn't enough a lot of the time.
Yeah, and that's probably true.
Yeah, where it came from. Not wasting, being grateful for what you had. That's all there was.
Yeah. And to me, my belief as a parent is it's giving the child the ability to choose, to think for themselves, even if she's 4 years old. It's making her believe that what she says matters. And like, I'm not going to go out and make a different meal because she doesn't want.
Or there's no third, fourth, fifth option.
Yeah, it's just little things.
Yeah.
Just creating independence.
There's also the sense of autonomy where I find when we were growing up, we weren't given the option to say no to physical touch.
Yes, that too, very much.
And that really creates these individuals with no sense of
agency.
A bubble. A personal bodily autonomy.
Boundaries.
Exactly.
It doesn't teach boundaries.
Yeah.
It like the parents.
It teaches you to break your boundaries.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
of this, to make exceptions.
Yeah,
and
to make other people happy and just be
people you
uncomfortable.
love. Yeah.
Like, I'm very careful with that now with my little one. If she doesn't want to hug you, I'm not gonna force her to hug you. And she's not a huggy person. Like she'll choose who she wants to hug.
But she cuddles me when she wants to.
Yeah,
Babish.
and she'll literally say like say when I say go hug your papish, because she calls Arsaniq papish. It's so cute. That was her attempt at saying angayopik.
Oh,
Papish.
Yeah, can't say angayopik, but papish.
Papish.
Yeah, when she was a baby. So I'll say go hug papish like in Inuktitut, and she'll just say no. And I'm not gonna like force. We don't force her, and that's that's teaching her. If I don't want to touch anyone or hug anyone, I don't have to.
yeah.
And like we should respect that.
My brother has 4 girls. I don't have any kids myself, but I do make a point whenever I see them. I say, "Can I hug you? Can I kiss you on the cheek? Can I kiss you on the
do
forehead?"
that now too.
Yeah, and they are able to decide. Like usually it takes a minute, and they're like, "No, not right now," or "Yes, please," or "You can kiss me here too," or teaching kids that consent is theirs to give
Yes.
early on in every instance creates a confidence that we
Yes.
just
And that trickles down to everything in life, your career, your professional life,
Yeah,
your
like what you
your
put up
relationships with
from
other
everyone,
people.
yeah.
Not just family and not just romantic relationships, but every relationship. What you exactly what you allow, the space you give, and who belongs in that space. And that goes physically and mentally. So these are things that I've learned also in my sobriety that I wouldn't have allowed. What kinds of healing practices feel gentle but strong to you, Arsaniq?
For me, that works best, but this doesn't work for everybody, is talk therapy. I think everyone has to find the right healing for them, but what worked for me was that. And I've been in and out of therapy since I was 14 or 15. And I have a new therapist that I'm going to meet later this week.
Great. What would you say to someone trying to rebuild a family relationship from a place of hurt?
I need that answer.
You don't have
What
to.
helped me was during therapy, I told my mom what I was feeling without any filters or any sort of like holding back. And I did the same with my father. I wrote him a letter with all of the things I went through and what I felt when he abandoned me. And confrontation really helped me release a lot of things. The anger didn't disappear, but confronting them really helped me. And having support like a therapist to help talk about it and to heal through it helped a lot. And trying to accept what I've been through and accepting the way I grew up, because you can't go back. The only way is forward. And what really helped me is accepting it. I still struggle sometimes with that. Like, I forgave both of my parents, but I still sometimes have a hard time with the anger and the hurt that I felt during those years. Like, I forgave them as a person, but that I am still healing through the things that I went to, and I think I always go through that and try to be consistent with therapy and healing and do whatever you can to heal yourself. Is
Yeah. And periodically you'll send me a text being very honest and saying, I wish you didn't raise me in that environment that you did.
That's grieving. You're grieving the opportunity that you didn't get to have a healthy, and I understand that so much. I even now in like my MILF stage, it still really hurts me that was taken from me. And in my
The innocence, hey?
yeah, in my little child brain, I still have hope that it's gonna get better. Like, all that is not it never happened. Like, I'm gonna get to a point where that didn't happen. Like, grieving it. Like, when somebody dies and you're like, no, like, let's go back to yesterday and bring them back. And so still being so angry that was the fucking life that you were given, you know, even though you accept it now, you're trying your best to move on. You have good days, but you still mourn what could have been.
Yes, very much. Yeah, I understand that too.
Like for instance, what could I have been if I had solid foundation?
Yeah.
What would I have been if I had an education? What would I have been if I had a safe place to wake up in the morning? What would I have been if I wasn't looking for somewhere to eat? What would I have been? You know? Because I've done okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I did it because I had to survive. But what if I had a solid, healthy foundation and where would I be?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that
Grieving,
you grieve
Yeah.
deeply as a human being.
So I understand that, you know, like the split of it, the split of, you know, being like, yeah, I forgive and I'm moving on, but it still hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's still anger and pain and you feel bad for yourself. Like, why me, man?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. It's the unfairness is very painful.
Yeah, I'm so grateful watching how my little sister is growing up, but at the same time, I wish I had that. But I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
It's like watching maybe what could have been.
Yeah. And you told me this like we cried about this like the first time you said.
That's like, I totally understand that too, because like my father, he built a whole another family
Without you.
and he adopted girls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And left us in the gutter.
Yeah. Yeah. And when Arsaniq said that, looking at her little sister and saying to me, I wish my childhood was safe like hers, and you said it in an envious tone, like the unfairness. I could feel the the unfairness that you felt when you said that and the pain in your face. And then we cried about it. And then
the split, it's okay to feel that.
Yeah,
And still be happy for her, but really envy that.
And then the next time around you said it again. You said it from a place of pride. I'm so happy that my sister is growing up in a safe, nurturing house. So like I'm so proud that Arsaniq is able to express her feelings, and that's what we learned in therapy. That's what we learn in therapy is to talk about our feelings. Yeah, no matter how hard, because like I still struggle sometimes when my brain goes into survival mode. Words have a hard time coming out of my mouth, and I have to ground myself and calm myself down and emotionally regulate myself again, and then tell myself, okay, Beatrice, what are you feeling? And how can you express that feeling without hurting anyone, without punching walls out and breaking mirrors and any of that.
I just want to say, I remember having a text conversation with you a while ago. And I don't know, we always end up talking about really deep and personal stuff randomly when we're texting, but you were away somewhere and you were away longer than you had hoped to be. And your
probably
baby,
got northern somewhere.
Yeah, probably. But your baby was with Arsaniq, and you were telling me like, oh, you felt so bad that your two girls are alone without you, and Arsaniq is taking care of her the baby, and the baby doesn't have her mom around. And I think you would have been in your very early 20s, and the baby was still just a baby. And my only thought was like, they're safer than we ever were at their ages.
I remember that. Yeah.
And the unfortunate fact is we never had that safety. And you didn't have that safety for most of your childhood.
Yeah.
But now you have rebuilt yourself in order to rebuild your family.
Yes.
And, you know, you don't have to be finished working on yourself in order to also start repairing the relationships around you. And I feel like that's a hang up a lot of people have about healing, is that, you know, you can only be 100% healed before you can apologize or before you can take accountability.
It's small steps.
But I just want you to know that I'm proud of you.
Thank
I've
you.
known you my whole life. And I've seen you in all your stages, and you used to come to Alpalok and sleep on our couch during hockey tournaments. And you were just this like most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Because I grew up with brothers and uncles and everything. So I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of you.
And Janice here is actually named after my sister who passed away in 1989.
Just 2 months before I was born.
So that's also another special connection that we share, because in Inuit culture, we naming our babies after those we loved and revered or whatever is important to us. So
it creates a kinship in a way.
Yes. So this question, the question that I asked, what would you say to someone trying to rebuild a family relationship from a place of hurt? I'd like to answer that. I always say start with yourself before you try and start to fix anything else. It's just coming back to focusing on yourself. We can't change people. We can't convince people, but we can definitely make choices for ourselves, and then naturally, your relationships will start to change. The way you see things, the way you perceive things, the way you feel things, the way you react to things will start to change when you start to consistently work on your inner pain. So for me, if I had never started my healing journey, my sobriety, I would not be the host of Northern. I would not be in a stable relationship. I wouldn't own a house. I wouldn't travel internationally to sing. I wouldn't have made a garment for the Governor General for the King Charles coronation. And I'm not saying these to put myself up. I'm saying these humbly. Holy shit. With the background that I have, to be able to say that I sang in front of 100,000 people. And for the Pope's visit, I sang for the survivors. The Pope happened to zoom by in his Pope mobile.
But another thing that she probably wouldn't have started healing at the time that she did if you hadn't have.
Exactly.
She still would have suffered a
yes.
lot longer too.
And very honestly, I was suicidal. She was suicidal. There's big chances that we wouldn't literally be alive. And that's a reality. And we're here because we both took action in our own life to heal. She didn't heal because I told her to heal. She decided upon herself that this is what she wants. And I'm so proud of her for that. I'm sure I played some role in it.
When you went sober, you played a role in so many people's sobriety in Nunavik, because back then nobody was sober. All the cool people were drinking and all the old people were sober. And so your actions are much more powerful than I think you believe. So,
and I don't take that lightly. I mean, yeah. Thank you.
I love you. I'm proud of you.
Too. Was there something you were about to say?
I just remember not wanting to move back to Montreal and not wanting to go to therapy, but you really pushed me and encouraged me, and you didn't give up on me.
Yeah, and I wasn't forcing you. I was I chose my words wisely. I wasn't angry when I said, you have to go to therapy. I wasn't doing that. I remember choosing my words wisely. I know it's hard. I know it doesn't seem like it's gonna work, but you have to do this to get better. And it did. And it did. And as parents,
and it will keep getting better. It will keep getting better.
I am so we're like this. We're inseparable. We're always together. We're I don't want to say you're my best friend, but you are in a way.
I'm your best friend.
Yeah, you too. But we're so close. We tell each other everything. Decisions.
And
we talk about decisions and
made it all worth it.
Yes. To me, as a parent who did a lot of damage in my children's lives, in their development, in their early ages, for me to apologize had to mean that I had to live my life differently now. not just words. You can't just say sorry and then expect things to like,
Imelo hatalaw na ito nga, and then drink the next week.
yeah.
That is not.
We have to be true to our word as human beings, especially if we're parents, if we're telling our children, this is what I'm going to do, make it happen. Do your best to make it happen. Don't constantly disappoint your children. That's where the trust was broken with my kids, because I would constantly tell them every time her father and I would have a fight or one of us cheated on each other, we would tell our very naive, hopeful kids, little innocent faces, we're not going to drink anymore. And
I don't remember that. I don't remember a lot about everything, really.
but then your emotions,
Feelings.
like the disappointment would come after, and you would say, "Usi malugoi milakon na ito."
I
And
can
then-
hear you say that.
Yeah. And both of them would be like, "Suyo alwino ko ino alo ani alo leo ko." Like,
Oh my God.
And when you
Like,
said you
Benita
had
Cordero.
guilt yesterday for being a part of that, when I have guilt, and I'm sorry too that I was with your crazy parents.
Me too. I really am. And yeah.
Because I seen you. I did see you.
yeah.
And I heard you. I'm sorry.
And yeah, just to go back, when if we want to rebuild trust with our children and our parents, we have to mean what we say and live by our words, not just saying words. Our words have impact, and we have to be very mindful.
I know, and I just said crazy parents, and it's not crazy parents. It's unhealed trauma parents.
Equals crazy parents. No, we were crazy.
Yeah.
We were really crazy, in a bad way. Yeah, but
The best way to repair that is to do better.
yeah,
To do better and mean what you say and say what you mean and walk your walk, and
yeah,
not perfectly, but we're trying.
yeah. Trying every day. Thank you so much for opening up your heart and soul with me, with
Or
us.
opening ours.
I hope this sheds light on some stuff people may struggle with, because I definitely needed that when I was in that, when we were in those days, in those really difficult days. And I'm very happy that we continue to have this relationship, and we'll continue to have this relationship forever. And I'm proud of you in every sense, your career, your personal life, your everything. I'm just very proud of you and your brother and your little sister, and I'm very lucky to be your mom, your Anana. Anyways, you wanted to say something?
We're lucky to have you.
Aw. All right. That is it for part 2 with Arsaniq, my beautiful Panik. Stay tuned for other episodes. Everyone at home, asugok nakongmig for your support. If you wish to support us further, be sure to head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/northern and join us over on Discord to keep this conversation going. If you want to ask us any questions, you can ask us there. Take care.